And what happens is your cells go into a state of senescence. I'm not sure if you've heard of cellular senescence. Senescence, senile senescence, old. A senescent cell is a cell that has basically stopped dividing. It's not going to divide anymore. So it's kind of a protective mechanism. So a cell that becomes senescent can't become cancer. But even in embryos, as embryos are developing, they use senescence for modulating. So in young people, that's what's happening with cellular senescence. It's used to modulate stuff. But as you get older, you get an accumulation of senescent cells. Yeah, they cannot divide anymore, so they're not going to become cancer. But they are still fully metabolically active. And therefore, they're producing all sorts of inflammatory enzymes. And that's why they call people that get older have just like a chronic underlying inflammation. They call it inflammaging. I don't know if you've heard of it, inflammation and aging put together. The inflammatory processes that senescent cells cause set up the environment for cancer. So they actually are going to make the cancer grow. They set it up. They set up the tumor microenvironment. Okay, so senescent cells produce inflammatory products that can establish the tumor microenvironment so that you can have cancer, right? They're called SASP, which is the senescent associated secretory products, right? And that's what they produce. And they produce this thing called inflammaging, and you've got to stop that. Well, there are ways to stop it. There's an amazing peptide called FOXO4. You got to get it IV, but it's amazing. It just turns it off. It's a peptide, and you can get it. Now, the reason is, remember, with cancer, everybody that's got cancer, the body is producing lots of senescent cells. There's lots of senescent cells. It's kind of a protective measure on the one hand, but on the other hand, it makes the cancer grow. It makes it metastasize. Very, very crazy kind of thing, but that's what happens. So if you can stop your senescent cells, if you can turn off senescence, you can decrease the amount of senescence. You can decrease and help cancer stop growing. You prevent it from growing, block it from growing. The word in science for breaking something apart and destroying it is called lysis, Lysis. And then the adjective would be lytic. So a senolytic substance, seno for senescence, lytic for breaking it apart, getting rid of it. In other words, eliminating senescence, senolytic. Okay, so there are things you can use for that are senolytics. In other words, they eliminate senescent cells, which set up the environment that cancer likes, which allows it to metastasize. All right, you want to stop that, right? Yes, you do. Guess what is one of the first ones ever studied and really powerful? It's called quercetin. We're all familiar with quercetin, right? And there's another one called rapamycin. I'm not sure if you've heard of rapamycin, but that's another one you can get. Another one is called fisetin. You can get these at Whole Foods. You can get them at Sprouts. You can get them any places like that.